Welcome in, everybody, to Inside Rebel Football here on LA 105.3 KLIP Monroe, your home for West Monroe High School football. We appreciate you listening in tonight. We're here each and every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock, live at Freddy's on Cypress Street in West Monroe. Tonight we'll visit with coaches and players, and we'll talk about last week. And then towards the end of the show, we'll talk about the matchup Friday night that's got a lot of people talking, a lot of people excited. And I'm one of those people looking forward to Friday night over at Neville. But we got a lot to talk about before we get to that. And we always open the show with head coach Kevin Davis. And, Coach, welcome to the show. Good win Friday night. We talked last week about, hey, it's in between a Washita and Neville game. It's one of those games where, if you come out and don't take care of business, turn the ball over a couple times, next thing you know, it's the fourth quarter and, you got a fight on your hands. But
right.
Guys started a little bit sluggish in the first quarter, especially really defensively. Took you a minute just to settle in. But after that, Rebels took care of business. Talk about overall your thoughts after having a chance to watch film on how the Rebels performed.
Well, you always have those high expectations. You know how you should play and you know what the outcome should be. And so I felt like we were not where we needed to be at halftime. I just challenged them to come out and play Rebel football the second half. And I felt like our kids turned it up a notch, stepped it up a notch, did those things that we needed to do, and just did it with a little more energy, I guess. And it always helps when that takes place.
Got off to a fast start offensively, really started in a hurry-up to start the game, Coach. Thought process behind that, just an opportunity to work on that, or maybe something to get Pineville on their heels? What's the thought process on coming out in the hurry-up?
I think a little bit of both. I think we like working on it. That's new to us, and it's different, and it's going to make everybody have to get ready for it. And so anytime you got guys having to prepare for a hurry-up offense and then maybe a little veer offense and things of that nature, it's a challenge for them, and so we try to do as much as we can.
Coach, you got a lot of different people involved in the game Friday night. I've written down 9 different ball carriers, 6 different receivers. So that's 15 different skill guys involved in the game on Friday night. What does that do moving forward? Talk about what that means about your program, about your offense, and the depth that you have.
I just think it helps overall. When we got as many kids as we have playing, we talked as coaches early in the year, and we said, look, let's get as many involved as we can get involved, because we can rest some here, we can rest some there. It's going to give the energy of the team a lot more positivity. And just those guys that just come out and understand what we want done and do a great job at getting in there and doing their job. It makes it nice. It makes it an easier practice. Yeah. It makes it a more involved practice, and so that's the biggest thing, is just keeping as many kids involved in it as possible.
You had a good diversity of running backs, Coach. Pawnee had 10 carries, Miles had 13, McNeil had 11. That three-head monster that you got Willis at fullback too, that'll get an occasional carry. But those 3 guys just interchanging like that, when you can diversify your carries, and between the 2 of them, looking at 250-plus yards between the 3 of them. Talk about that group and how that helps your team, especially on offense, throughout the season.
Well, I was thinking about it today. I said, man, we switch out so much with those kids, and they're all about the same, but they carry little different qualities amongst each one of them. And then there's nights that the light comes on for some, and I'm not saying it ever goes off for others, but it's just, it'll be his night, and then the next one it'll be his night. It's like they're saying, let's trade off or something of that nature. But, you're looking at, like you said, 30-something carries, where you could say, well, if you'd have ran one guy, well, that's a lot of carries for one guy. So it's helped us stay healthy. It's helped us be where we are today. And I got to give a punch there for Caden Willis, because what he has done in the last 3 weeks as a blocking back, fullback type, H-back type, has become one of those physical guys that has done a tremendous job for us. And then he can obviously run it and catch it out of the backfield.
Yeah, catches out of the backfield well.
Good.
Speaking of catching, we'll talk about the guy that's been throwing it, and that's Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
Really started the game very crisp, and it seems like, people think back, this is Coach Goins' first year as offensive coordinator. And so it's a rather robust playbook that you guys have, and it seems like Ryder's really started to settle in at quarterback and have a rhythm about himself as the game goes along, or really as the season has gone along. Talk about his ability to start to settle in.
Well, I just, like you said the other night, he's 13 for 17, I think, and 2 drops, so there's 15 for 17, and then he misses 2 throws that would have been touchdowns, and I said, how big your night really could have been here?
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been just phenomenal, which I thought it was phenomenal anyway with the 13 for 17, but he started to settle in, like you said, worked on his mechanics a lot, just trying to stay over the top, likes that third base sidearm a little bit, and I understand that, and that's all you're seeing out there too. But, man, I couldn't be more proud of him and how he's just continued to progress.
Of course, 6 different receivers in the game. Valerie with a couple of catches. You got Dupriest involved, and, of course, Trez as well involved in that offense. So offense really starting to gain some traction. Even though you put up only 15 points against Ouachita, it still was a rather productive night, especially on 3rd and 4th down. So the offense really starting to gain some momentum. You've got Coach Barron here with you. Let's talk about that offensive line. I'll get a chance to talk to him about it. But, those guys have started to settle in as well. And you've got some depth up front. Talk to me about the evolution of that offensive line that you've got this year, and had some guys. Fuqua has really kind of taken over as the leader on that offensive line. He's had a couple of big nights with pancake blocks, but just talk about that group.
Man, you could talk all night, because in the spring we started watching them, and just the drill work that DeMicheal was putting them through, the strength that we were seeing in the weight room. We could see a combination starting to grow a little bit of, man, this group could be really, really good. And I really think they've surpassed what I thought they would be up front, just because they've gotten confident. They're rolling guys in and out of there so that we have depth all the time. And that's helped tremendously with Chance Stites down right now. So it's just been incredible to watch them. They have been the nucleus, Yes, we've thrown it around, but we've really ran it well, and that's the reason why we've ran it well.
Last 2 weeks, your defense has played well. Held the opponent to just a couple of scores. Held Pineville to less than 200 yards of offense. Coach Arledge done a good job with that defense, and you're starting to really see a lot more energy, maybe a little more emotion on that side of the ball. What do you attribute that to? Is that finally maybe those seniors just taking over, as far as the emotional leaders?
I think just in being comfortable. I think they've finally gotten comfortable in the roles that they're put in and the things that they're asking them to do, and they're starting to be where they need to be. They probably reined off a little bit of some of the stuff they were doing and just tried to get more simple with them to get them comfortable. But I just think that, and I told you before, we have a Monday competition, we have a Wednesday competition between offense and defense, and the losers are going to run extra after practice.
Gotcha.
And it's not long, 5 minutes. The Mondays is 3rd and long, so we go 5 plays. And whoever gets to that, well, offense won that this week.
Okay.
They made it to 3rd, and they got their 3rd and long 3 out of 5 times, or actually it's like 4 out of 7. And so the defense had to do extra. Well, today was 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
Put a minute on the clock. You got 1 timeout, and we're down 5, so you've got 50 yards to go, and you got to make it. If you got to score a touchdown because you can't kick a field goal. And the defense won that one, so the offense had to do it.
Yes.
And I think, although there's a lot of camaraderie there, I think there's a lot of kids just buying into this is what we got to do to get better, and they are getting after it and going at it.
Yeah,
so
creating some
really
competition.
Good. Yep.
We've talked about offense settling in, finding a rhythm. Talked about the defensive personnel starting to settle in, playing with some emotion. Let me ask you about your coaching staff. It's been we're week number 9. and you guys go all the way back to really the spring. I don't know if you ever stop. But talk about your coaching staff and how you guys are starting to figure out how the Friday nights go and the rhythm of the Friday night, and then how everybody's embraced their different responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about how your coaching staff is really finally here, and I say finally, but week 9, again, you got a lot of different guys in different spots this season. Week 9, those guys seem to be settling in pretty comfortably too.
They are. They do a tremendous job, and they get involved with the kids. That's the biggest thing that we always talk about is let's get involved with our kids. Let's make sure we know what they're up to, what's going on in their lives, and when we stretch and we have a word of the day or we have something going on, we have a Monday messenger that brings us a message every Monday, and our coaches are right there in the middle of it, talking to our kids in the locker room. That's a big deal for us because that's where the culture is, and that's where you find out a lot of things about their lives and what's going on. And our coaches have bought into that and do a tremendous job of that, and they coach their tails off. And it's fun to watch them do it during practice now, just to roam around, and they are constantly getting after it, and it's amazing to watch.
Coach, always a pleasure visiting with you. When we wrap up the show, we'll talk about Neville.
All right.
At the end of the show.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rick.
All right, folks. We'll talk with offensive line coach John Barron here on Inside Rebel Football when we get back. Stay with us.
At Century Next Bank, employees are busy working for you. Employees like Lee Denny, whose relationships make an impact in the communities we call home.
So to see positive impact that these relationships can have when you work with other people, when other people appreciate it. And again, it goes back to spending time and trying to help somebody, and it's a very rewarding thing for me as well.
For more on Lee's story, visit bankwithlocals.com. Century Next Bank. What's next for you?
Welcome back, folks, to Inside Rebel Football. We appreciate our host, Freddie's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. David, the manager here, always takes care of our coaches and players, and we certainly appreciate their hospitality here at Freddie's, and, of course, all of our other sponsors, as you hear the commercials. These are the folks that support our broadcast, support our coaches show. And speaking of our coaches show, you can catch it on Facebook tomorrow. Coach Ashley will have that uploaded on the Facebook page for West Monroe High School football. You'll be able to find it there and rewatch the show and see all us ugly faces here on Inside Rebel Football. Offensive line coach John Barron here with us here on Wednesday night, and familiar name, familiar voice to our listeners. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Rick. Glad to be here.
Coach, let's talk about that offensive line. And you guys have really had a productive year offensively, put up some good numbers offensively. But I know you've been proud of the depth that you guys have, especially up
Absolutely.
front. And let's talk about those guys, what a luxury it is to have the depth that you have. And just talk to me about how you guys have progressed this season as you're going into Week 9 if compared to where you started. Talk to me about that group up front.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of one thing we started preaching when back during fall camp. We had one returning starter, and Ty George, and then everybody else is brand new. Hayes comes over from defense. We had Damien Sanders coming back from last year. Damien started a game or so from last year. And then, we had Chance Stites coming back. None of these kids started. They all were on the team, but they didn't start last year. So it was brand new and had some holes to fill. And we've just talked all year about consistent improvement. We can't worry about our opponents. We can worry about us. And that's one thing I can say I'm really proud of them. And if you look at the grades, numerically, it has been consistent improvement each week. They're a fun group. They enjoy it.
Yeah.
They like it. They have a lot of energy about offensive line play, a lot of excitement when it comes to offensive line play. It's a fun group to coach.
It's hard not to have energy between you and Coach Wright coaching offensive line, Coach. If you don't have energy out there with you guys, I can't help you, right?
Yeah.
And I know you and Coach Wright have a good relationship.
It's awesome.
You've enjoyed that this season.
He has been phenomenal. He's been awesome for the kids and myself.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And of course, he's one of those energy buses that's going to bring it every day.
Absolutely.
Coach, we've seen this offense somewhat evolve over time we'll get line up in the eye, run the veer, we'll get in the shotgun, we'll get empty, we'll get in the wildcat. We've got all kind of different motions, screens, you name it. Talk about the challenges that can be for an offensive line when you're tasked with so many different I guess, styles of plays and offense here all mixed into one. What kind of challenge is that on a group up front?
Man, it can be if you let it, but we try to keep it simple. We try to keep it simple, keep the kids playing hard, keep the kids with great pad level, keep the kids, engaged, having fun, and they enjoy it. It's kind of a challenge sometimes when we want to do certain things, but we try to keep it real simple. I mean, football's football.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you're in the eye, under center, in the shotgun, or whatever, we try to play hard, play with great pad level, good hands, great feet, and get after people.
Yeah.
And no matter what formations we're in, and a lot of it's the same. I mean, we don't try to overcomplicate things, whether we're in the shotgun and versus under center. A lot of it doesn't change our blocking schemes at all. And they have a lot of buy-in to that, and they enjoy it.
Coach, the game has really evolved offensively to just getting people in space. Mm-hmm. Let's get people in space, make it difficult on the defense to make tackles. When you're evaluating an offensive lineman, used to back when we played, it was who was the biggest and the strongest, and let's throw him up there and let him just pave the way for the running back.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, now it's different. You've got to have a little more athleticism.
Yeah.
Talk to me about like when you see the involvement of the actual talent that you have, the personnel that you have, and how versatile they have to be.
Man, they and it kind of goes back to our depth we're talking about earlier. Is we got a lot of bodies, and you got a lot of guys that can play the game, and they can play it at a high level, and they have been kind of throughout the year. But as far as evaluation, we like guys, number one, who's going to fire off the football, who's going to hit a defensive lineman in the mouth, who can stay on their feet, who's got quick hands, who can shoot their hands, who's not, somebody who's not timid to stick. We always talk about getting your nose bloody, who will stick their face right between the defender's numbers, who's going to get after it. And, if we can find somebody who can do that, then we feel like we can make an offensive lineman out of them.
Coach, you got a challenge in front of you on Friday night. The undefeated Neville Tigers and Rebels go into Friday night as an underdog. Let's talk about what you guys have to do up front. What's that look like? Give me the scouting report on Neville's defensive line, and what's it going to take for us to be successful in the trenches? Man,
well, I mean, everybody knows about number 0. They got Brody Watley, but they got 3 other guys that sit there and go with them. I don't know as far as their names, but they got a pile of depth up front too. They roll in 99, 98. I believe that's Fobbs White's little brother. Okay. Who signed a big scholarship. Yeah. A year or two ago. Then they have defensive end number 97. Then they roll in 50. They roll in 59. I mean, they're gonna match us with depth. I mean, that's and Neville's never short of depth on D linemen. That's one thing you kind of learn over the years. I mean, they're good. They do a really good job. But it goes back to what we've preached in August. Just kind of as a position group, what we talk about in September, and now in October, is we got to have consistent improvement. If we learned anything, it's about the name across our chest. Yeah. We got to take care of the Rebels. We got to take care of West Monroe. Just consistent improvement each week, and if we can do that, then I like our chances.
Coach, tell me about the 2 guys you brought with you tonight.
Man, got not Hayes. I got Sam Turner, tight end, and Damien Sanders, center. Both those kids have been huge assets for us up front this year. Damien, like I said, Damien played a little bit last year, and he kind of come on this year. Filled a big position in need. I mean, we had we graduated a 2-year starter at center, so Damien came in and he has done a phenomenal job. Yeah. And Sam, this is Sam's. Sam played his freshman year. I'm sure a lot of people remember him. Yeah. His freshman year. Then he took a year off, and then now Sam's back, and he has done a phenomenal job. Yeah. Sam looks, you look at Sam, and he scoring the touchdowns, catching all the balls, and 7-on-7 and stuff. But he is a nasty blocker. He is a unsung hero for us. Awesome. As far as blocking.
Coach, you sound a little hoarse. It's been a tough week for you. What's going on?
It's been perpetual. I don't know. It's like we hadn't gotten rain, and it feels like a year. Just the dust everywhere.
Yeah, it's all that screaming at the Boys and Girls Club football team that you coach, and that's what it is.
That's straight high fiving and having fun. that is a really good time.
Yeah.
That's an awesome league.
Yeah. Well, Coach, appreciate you being on the show.
Always, Rick.
Best of luck Friday
Yes,
night.
sir.
Love having you here.
Appreciate it, man.
And look forward to watching you guys.
All right, Rick.
When we come back, folks, we'll visit with Damien Sanders and Sam Turner right here on Inside Rebel Football. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
For years, you've trusted us with your car buying experience. You've trusted us to provide service after the sale. You've even trusted us to help keep your vehicle clean. Now it's time for us to have some fun.
Polaris of Ruston, where the road ends, adventure begins.
Welcome back, folks, to Inside Rebel Football. We're here every Wednesday at 6 o'clock live at Freddy's on Cypress Street in West Monroe. Coaches and players, it's an hour full of West Monroe football talk, and we're excited to do that every week, and this week especially. Week number 9, it's crazy to think, Tim, as it feels like we just got started, and here we go, wrapping up the season, last 2 weeks of the regular season, and it's when it gets fun, and this week is no different with a good rivalry game on tap for Friday night. I'm joined now by our center, Damien Sanders, and our tight end, Sam Turner, 2 juniors on this offensive line. And, guys, welcome to the show. Damien, we'll start with you. A center on this offensive line, and I was talking to Coach Barron just a minute ago, and he was bragging on you, just saying we needed somebody to step up in this position. You got a little bit of playing time last year, but having to fill the shoes of a 2-year starter at center. Talk to me about your journey, how you prepared for this moment, and now being a key person on this offensive line.
It always started as, I started in 6th grade. They threw me right in the center. I played guard at first. Then I just kind of, got into it, learned the snap of the ball, then learned how to move it real well. It kind of just brought more of a feel to it, how, I can do this, because I got more confident as it went on.
Yeah. Well, it's so 6th grade. That's when you started learning how to snap the football. Where'd you go to middle school?
Westridge.
Westridge. So we'll give a shout-out to Coach Davis and those guys over there for teaching you and putting you at center, and now look at you leading this offensive line. What's the hardest part of playing center? Is it, I know shotgun snap can be interesting sometimes. Under center, different quarterbacks are different. Each one of them take a snap differently. What's the biggest challenge of playing your position?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is really like having to be in a 2-point stance in center, having to snap the ball and then step to your whatever at the same time, like your gap or step to a reach step or a zone step at the same time.
Gotcha. Well, certainly enjoyed watching you this season, doing a great job. And Sam, welcome to the show, man, and welcome back to West Monroe football. Took a year off last year and to focus on baseball, and had a good season in baseball as well. Congratulations on a state championship, by the way. But talk to me about your journey back. What brought you back to West Monroe football?
Yeah, so, obviously took a year off last year. Looking back at it now, I think it was a good decision because, a lot of prayer and consideration went into the decision to come back now. And I'm very glad that I made that decision. Talked to a lot of coaches, Coach Johnson, Coach Lee Morrow.
Yeah.
He talked to me a lot. And just a lot of people, Coach Goins, having an impact on that decision being made. Was kind of iffy with it at first at the beginning of summer, and I talked to Coach Jones. I was like, well, I figured if I do make the decision to come back, I might as well start working out, and so I started going to the summer workouts, and everybody welcomed me back in and with open arms, and I was like, I think this is something I want to do and pursue for the next few years.
Well, you've been a big part of this Rebel offense this season, and tight end has been a position that has evolved over time and more of a high-profile position now, given all the personalities that you've seen over time, from Kelsey to Graham to some of these high-profile tight ends. You do a little both at West Monroe. You catch passes and you block. Talk to me about the responsibility of balancing both of those things. You're involved in pass skill and 7-on-7, but also you've got a responsibility, and sometimes you're trying to block the best athlete on the defensive line. Talk to me about balancing those two responsibilities at tight end.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's no doubt a hard thing to do, but I like to focus on, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Whenever I have a blocking assignment to get done, I like to think I turn into a tackle.
Yeah.
I turn into a lineman. Some people don't consider a tight end a lineman, but
yeah.
Whenever I have a blocking assignment, I take it with a full heart, and I don't consider it anything less than a pass play. And then, of course, pass play is the fun part. I was
going to ask you, what's funner, catching a pass or a pancake block? Tell me which one you're going to take.
I don't think I can take one over the other. You got to do the work in the trenches to get to those pass plays, and of course, catching touchdowns and catching passes is always fun.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy being in the trenches and getting some work on the line.
Damien, you don't get that luxury of getting a touchdown thrown to you.
Man, I wish.
I know you love the pancake blocks too. Both of you guys are a big part of this offense, and but you didn't get there overnight. And I like to ask players when we have some time to talk to me about the influences you've had in your career. You talk about going all the way back to 6th grade, Damien, and learning how to snap, and you've had several coaches influence you. You've had other teammates, former teammates, influence you. As you think back over your career, and I know you still got a ways to go, tell me somebody that comes to mind that hey, this coach or this person, it doesn't have to be a coach, has had an influence on me and how I am as a football player.
Well, it started with our O-line coach throughout middle school, Logan Green.
Okay.
He really got me into it and got me comfortable with it. But then over time it developed into Coach Morrow. Coach Morrow helped out a lot with that. And then Coach Barron came along and he really sealed the deal on it, getting me confident playing where I play now. And then Coach Wright, he's just the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
I mean, he played center at Grambling. And I feel like he relates more to what I feel sometimes.
Yeah, he's I call him the energy bus, Coach Wright, and
most definitely.
Yeah, and so those are all good men that you talked about. And Sam, you've mentioned some coaches that some ones that talked to you about coming back to football, and I know you've had some influences as well.
Absolutely, obviously, Coach Josh Johnson.
Yeah,
he's been one of my coaches since 6th grade.
Yeah,
being tight end, he would work with the skill guys, and I also getting work on the O-line with Logan Green, really good guy, and he was a younger guy, so he could relate to us a little bit more. So he had a big influence. And Coach Josh Johnson, he's been great to us. He does a whole lot for us, and I would say for the longest, he's probably been the biggest influence. And then Coach Goins this past year, welcoming me back. He's given me a lot of good affirmation that I can do this, even after having that year off, that I have the ability and that he's confident in me.
Yeah.
And, it's really good to have all that affirmation behind you from some really good men, good coaches.
Awesome. Well said, Sam. Last thing, Damien, you ready? Friday night.
Oh, absolutely.
Going to be an electric atmosphere. How does that feel? How's this week been for you?
It's really nothing different. Probably going to be more people, but it's nothing different from what we've been playing. Like Catholic, they had a good bit of people.
Yeah.
Their student section was pretty large. Their band was loud, but I don't think it's going to be any different from that.
Well said. Guys, great interviews. Appreciate you being here on the show. Folks, when we come back, we'll turn the page. We'll talk some defense and strength and conditioning with Coach DeMicheal Dizer. That was Damien Sanders and Sam Turner here on Inside Rebel Football. Be back in just a moment.
Coach, look what I got. The Rocket Fast Playbook. That's awesome, Sport. What does it say? First, you get him in the tunnel. Second, you blindside him with the wall of foam. Third, you call an audible. Then comes the Hail Mary. You hit him with the fast pass. Coach, it's brilliant. No dirty opponent stands a chance against Rocket Fast.
Hey, that's my playbook. Where'd you get that? Oh, it doesn't matter. Just sing the song.
Rocket Fast. It's a blast. And your vehicle is clean.
Football live here at Freddy's on Cypress Street in West Monroe. And got a special guest. This guy has been making his rounds and giving some good speeches. And always a pleasure having him on the show. Coach DeMicheal Dizer. Coach, welcome back.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you bet. And, Coach, a good night for the Rebel defense against Pineville. Held them to less than 200 yards of offense. A couple interceptions from your secondary.
Yep.
as well, and 6 tackles by Zach Fulmer. So secondary had a good night against the Pineville Rebels. Talk about their performance.
Yeah, we came out first half. We were a little sluggish, getting lined up, adjusting the formations, and you can replicate those things in practice, but until you see it in a game, it takes players a little bit of a few snaps to get adjusted to it. And I think we came out the second half. Coach Davis challenged us at halftime, offensively and defensively, to try to execute better in the second half, and I think our kids did a good job of accepting that challenge.
Coach, we've had a chance to talk about him just a little bit, but Zach Fulmer, a guy like that, playing with 2 just bum shoulders, undersized, and has a big interception against Ouachita, leads your secondary in tackles on Friday night. Can't say enough about that guy. What are your thoughts on Fulmer?
He's a kid that's just, a true competitor. His will is much greater than his size or stature. And, that's always a plus for us. That's a plus for him. He's going to always do what's best for the football program. He elected not to have surgery, and so he's suited up every practice. He still makes his workouts. Like you said, he's leading our team in our secondary in tackles, still making plays and intercepting the ball. And, his will is just what's getting him through this season. And I hope our younger players are paying attention to that, and, they can learn from a guy like that. And so I hope that becomes infectious throughout our program, so guys know this is the standard.
Toughness.
This is toughness. This is what it's about.
Yeah, sacrifice, too. He's a baseball player.
Right.
Could have had surgery, and, hey, I'm just going to go get ready for baseball. But no, he's sacrificing for the football team, and so we certainly big-time respect to Zach Fulmer. And let's talk about, you got double responsibility. Of course, you coach secondary, but you're the head strength and conditioning coach for the Rebels. You have classes all day. You work out several players from our freshmen all the way through our seniors. Talk about your varsity bunch right now. What type of in-season, where are we at in our strength and conditioning with your varsity players right now?
We start the season off, and we kind of do a progressive overload. We go up different percentages in our core lifts each week. And then I'll kind of base the previous week. Was it a physical ball game? Did we play 122 snaps on defense versus Pulaski? How are we injury-wise? I got to cross-reference things with Kirk Franham, our head athletic trainer. Do we have a lot of guys with shoulder injuries? Do we have a lot of guys, ankles and things like this? And then so I'll formulate kind of what our week-to-week will look like in terms of how much external load do I want to put on the players outside of practice and outside of the game. And we just use all those measurements and we use all those things to kind of formulate, what's the best movement or the best way to go about our varsity players, because Friday night's the most important thing right now. It's not how much you can put on a squat bar or how much you're bench pressing right now. You're as strong as you're going to be this season. We want to maintain that and have you fresh to go and ready to go on Friday nights.
A lot of your players, Coach, worry about their weight. You talk about any football players trying to put on weight. I'm trying to be a certain weight. In season, do you like guys to be lighter in season or heavier in season? I know there's different, measurements that you guys can do, but I know there's an art to maintaining weight or gaining weight. Where do you like to see your players off season and in season?
Well, what we try to do off season. So off season for us starts in January. And I'll tell a guy, listen, in January, you get as big as you want. You get as big as you want. We'll try to marry your workout so that you can gain some speed with that size. If you're a skill guy, we don't want you to get too heavy. Big guys, man, you put your weight on. We know in the summertime some of that weight's going to come off. We do daily weigh-ins in the summertime. So once we get into the season, it's really about our bigs trying to maintain that size that they have, but we also know we got to have a certain conditioning level to go with that weight. Our skill guys, we want to keep them strong, but we want them fast. We want them agile. We want them mobile. And so they're not going to really put on a lot of weight in season. Our skill guys aren't, and we're not really pushing it a whole lot. The biggest thing is what you come in at August 1st, we want you to relatively stay somewhere around that throughout the season as far as our skill guys go.
Interesting. I know that's a lot of athletes just trying to maintain or balance and really figure out the ideal weight. I was curious about that. Let's talk about Friday. You got a big challenge. I call it a big opportunity as you guys head over to Neville Of course, the quarterback threw for 300 yards last Friday night. They spread the ball all over the field. Talk to me give me a scouting report on the Neville offense.
Yeah, their offense is very polished. Quarterback's very polished. You can tell on film he's coached very well. He goes through his progressions. He likes his reads. If it's not there, he does have the ability to scramble. They got a good receiving core, 3 good receivers. Their slot receiver does a really good job. They've got 2 good guys on the outside. The kid they use at H-back is a good-sized kid, runs fairly good routes, gets himself open. He's a big target, and he catches the ball well. So it's 100% going to be a challenge for us, but I don't think we would have it any other way.
Yeah.
I don't think we have it any other way. I believe our kids are ready to play. I've fallen in love with watching the physicality of our guys up front, and I look forward to seeing how we're going to match up. I want to see if we will break their will.
Yeah.
Let's see if they'll match us, and if they match us, can we go to another level?
Yeah.
And that's anytime you can play a team like Neville as a ball club, you look forward to those matchups. And like you said, it's 100% a rivalry. You can throw the records.
That's right.
You can tell me they're 8-0, and I'll tell you good. They're having a great job. I wouldn't have it no other way. You know? So it's going to be a heck of a ball game.
It'll be fun. It'll be a great experience Friday night. Coach, tell me about the 2 guys you brought with you tonight.
Tonight we brought Elijah Thomason. He's a junior, plays weak safety for us. Plays on special teams as well. Has made a few plays on kickoff and punt and things like that. And then we have a senior free safety and special teams player in Luke Wall. He's a senior, and he's done a good job for us this year.
Coach, always a pleasure visiting with you, and always appreciate you taking time and spending with us here on Inside Rebel Football. Folks, that was Coach DeMicheal Dizer. We come back, we'll visit with Luke and Elijah right here on 105.3. We'll be right back.
The Home Improvement Outlet has a must-see iron door collection. Whether you're a homeowner or a builder, we have the perfect iron door for you. And check out our cutting-edge smart glass option, offering privacy and style at the touch of a button. With many glass options available, you can customize your door to match your unique style. We have iron doors that pivot, slide, and so much more. The Home Improvement Outlet in West Monroe.
Now cue that jingle.
The Home Improvement Outlet, you're building for less.
Welcome back, folks, to Inside Rebel Football live here at Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers on Cypress Street in West Monroe. Do want to give a shout-out to our sponsors, Jim Taylor Ford, Family Convenience Clinic, Century Next Bank, Home Improvement Outlet, Polaris of Ruston, Twin City Chiropractic, Rocket Fast Car Wash, Doopy Flooring, and Dr. Jeff Counts. Also have Tim Gallion here with us, who does a great job of setting up and breaking down, just like on Friday nights. And, of course, Dawson Bose back at the studio, who does a fantastic job during our broadcast on Friday nights, too. Manning a board during a broadcast is not easy, and Dawson does a great job for us on Friday nights as well. So we appreciate Dawson. Of course, Coach Ashley here with us every Wednesday night, filming our show and getting it uploaded for the public to watch on Facebook. We appreciate him. Joined by a couple of guys in our secondary, Luke Wall and Elijah Thomason here on Inside Rebel Football. Going to talk a little defense. I want to start with you, Luke, a senior in this secondary, and I always like to ask our seniors, this is a big year. A lot of folks, don't get the privilege of moving on beyond high school, and so this is maybe the last time you'll play football. And so I want to talk to you. What's that mean to you? What's it mean to you to be a senior and this to be your senior season?
It's really fun, and I think it will take, like this will last, the experience will last forever, and it's just always something to remember, and it's so fun to be a part of the team, and it's just an experience that you'll never forget.
Well, that's well said, and you're exactly right. It's something that you'll take with you for a while, and certainly carries a lot of meaning. Every moment does. You talk about being around a group of guys, and talk to me about this secondary, how you guys mesh together. I know it's a competitive group. You got a lot of different personalities. Do you guys challenge each other during the week? Just talk to me about the group in general in this secondary.
We're always trying to become better and everything, but all the secondary, I think we all have a pretty good connection, and it's always fun times out on the field. And
you're one of the seniors in this secondary. Of course, there's a leadership responsibility there. You've been around the program for a while, and so appreciate all you do, Luke. And I know that's a big responsibility for you. Elijah, last couple of weeks we've got an opportunity to call your name on the radio on Friday nights. You had a big play at Ouachita on a 4th down. had a big interception against Pineville. Is this something talk to me about your journey here in the secondary, really come on strong the last couple of weeks. What do you attribute that to?
I mean, I got to give it to the coaching. I mean, I've been putting in the grind, putting in the work. I mean, as you know, it's been Maddox and Zach most of the year, and Maddox has earned that right. He's earned that position. I've been trying to claw back, and I finally got the chance against Pineville for my first start of the season. I had to make a point, and I feel like I made it.
Yeah.
Washita, I mean, that was one of the best games we've played all year as a team. We came together in that second half, and our defense said no more. We didn't allow a touchdown. I think we had 3 or 4 first downs.
Yeah.
We came out, and we came out strong.
Yeah, second half was a great performance by the West Monroe defense and by the secondary. And both of you guys play in the secondary. So let me ask you, would you rather an interception or a highlight reel monster hit? Well, Luke, which one you going for, man? You get a chance for the interception, or you get a chance to just really hammer somebody? What are you going with?
Definitely hammer somebody.
Okay, all right, you're going with the contact over the pick. I got you, Elijah. Where do you stand on that?
I mean, I've had the privilege of doing both, as you know, at that Pineville game. I mean, it's a lot better if you get up from it at first, but I got to go with a big hit. I mean, getting up from that, knowing that you just knocked the kid's teeth, and it's one of the best feelings in the world.
Well, guys, as you get an opportunity this Friday night to go over to Neville, and of course, they're undefeated, and certainly a great opportunity for West Monroe. And, Luke, I'll ask you, should be a great environment. And talk to me about this week's preparation. Talk to me about the mindset that you guys have as players, and especially seniors, going into the ball game at Neville.
We're all locked in, and we're all been getting prepared for this game. You know, it's a big game, and we're all been working hard. And the seniors are taking a big responsibility and leadership, and we're just trying to make sure everybody's in check and get everything right, and everybody's just been locked in, ready for this game this week.
Yeah. Elijah, looking forward to the opportunity Friday night, I assume.
Oh, we are so excited as a team, as a secondary, as a defense. Well, I mean, we're ready to go in there and rock and roll because nobody thinks we're going to win it.
Yeah.
And we're going to go out there and we're going to take it.
Dogs.
Awesome. Love that mindset, guys. I wish you the best of luck. Friday night did a great job on the show. And, Luke, before we let you go, man, I got to ask you, Coach Ashley told me to ask you about the Wellness Center, man. You must be a popular guy at the Wellness Center. Tell me what that's all about, man. What are they giving you a hard time about?
I guess I don't know. I just like to work out. I just like to work out.
No, I'm just messing with you, man. No, I appreciate you being here. And, again, I like to tell our seniors before they go, thank you for all the hard work you put in this program. Thank you for wearing the jersey the way that you do, the pride that you have in this program, and for your leadership, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Folks, that was Luke Wall and Elijah Thomason. We come back, we'll wrap up the show with head coach Kevin Davis. We'll be right back.
Do you want to feel better and perform better and get back to doing the things you enjoy? Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Kyle Nix at Twin City Chiropractic. If pain or injury have got you down, we provide long-term solutions to get you back to 100%. Our services include chiropractic care, spinal rehab and traction, deep tissue laser, and Normatec compression. If you're an athlete, weekend warrior, work on a computer all day, or even involved in an auto accident, we can help your body perform at its best. Feel better, perform better at Twin City Chiropractic. We're located at 1117 Forsyth Avenue in Monroe. Call us at 318-582-5029.
Welcome back, folks, and thanks for hanging with us here on a Wednesday night for Inside Rebel Football. It's been a great show. A couple of great coaches interviews tonight, and all 4 of our player guests have done a great job. And it's just been a good show. It's a fun week around campus. If you're not having fun this week, I don't know what to tell you as you start final push in the regular season, and still a possibility of a district championship in front of you. Might need a little help. Of course, you got to take care of your business Friday night.
Right.
And Coach Davis, you got an opportunity at the district leader in the Neville Tigers with an 8-0 record. And also last time these two teams met, Neville came out on top 28-7. That was back in 2021. Overall mindset this week for the Rebels going into Friday night.
Man, had great practices this week. Kids locked in. Monday was one of our best Mondays. Monday is an install day, so you're really, kind of just setting the tone and trying to do some new things, maybe add this or that, and so you put all your new stuff in, and I felt like they really locked in and worked hard at Monday, and Tuesday was that's kind of our long day where we just get after it and see what we like and what we don't like. Today was our our day to kind of put the hay in the barn, as we say, and just really get confident with what we're doing. And I watched both ends of the field, the offensive end and the defensive end, and both coordinators said it's been a great day today. We've had a good day of practice. So you got to be excited about that.
Good. And I could sense the energy here on the show tonight, and looking forward to Friday. You've been looking at Neville all week, obviously. What stands out about that group? About why are they 8-0? What makes them special?
Man, they're solid. That's the biggest thing. There's not a lot of ooh-wee going on, but they are very solid and they're very consistent in what they do and how they do it. They're not very extravagant either. They're simple, but they just get the job done and don't turn the ball over much, which is awesome. Defensively, fairly good size up front, very active, very athletic in the secondary, run around well, and so it's just an overall a good program. Mike does a tremendous job over there. He's done a tremendous job for this, his first year, and he's got tons of experience in coaching the game, and he's got a lot of good veteran people with him, helping him. So, they got everything. They got everything going in the right direction. They beat some good people to be where they are, and so we're just excited for the opportunity to go over there and see what happens.
Coach, the West Monroe-Neville rivalry, West Monroe's got 3 rivals. You've got Ouachita, Ruston, and Neville, and of course I was looking at it today. We played Ouachita 72 times. Ruston, it'll be our 71st matchup in Week 10. Neville, this is our third longest rivalry. This will be matchup number 53 on Friday night. This will be your first time to coach against Neville as from West Monroe.
Right.
And
yes.
Your thoughts on the rivalry, the fun that goes with that, and really how it brings a lot of people that maybe haven't gone to a game all season, and it'll make them pay attention. Talk to me about what this week means to the program and bringing this rivalry back. It's been 3 years. Tell me what that means.
I just think people all over the state obviously know that it's fixing to happen.
Yeah.
And they know the tradition behind it. And I've taught our kids all week and just talked to them about, just be a sponge.
Yeah.
Be a sponge. This is the best thing about high school football.
Yeah.
You're getting to do what a lot of guys would love to do is play in front of this kind of crowd with this kind of electricity, with this kind of game on the line. And I said, just love it, and have fun doing it and get after it. And I said, there's going to be peaks and there's going to be valleys. You cannot get away from that. But I said, when there's a valley, we got to react positively. And talked about our guys that don't play a lot but are there and involved. I said, you got to get involved. You got to keep guys confident. You got to keep guys positive. You got to keep encouraging. You got to be involved in the game in that way. And if you do that, hey, no matter what happens, then you can live with it. And I think our kids understand that and know that, and I think they're ready because they've been road warriors.
Yeah.
And you can tell. You can see it in their eyes. I said, this isn't a big thing, to go and do that. So it'll be fun to see what happens and how it shows up.
Certainly have, like you said, been road warriors. You go up to Little Rock in a different environment. Let's call it that was just a different environment, different type game. You go to Catholic, a great environment down at Catholic and how they present themselves. North DeSoto was a great environment. It's going to be very similar to what Neville's environment is going to be like, kind of a tight stadium, crowd kind of on top of you, sort of environment there at North DeSoto. So and you mentioned, I was going to ask you, the preparation and having been on the road and the routine and those sorts of things got to be somewhat of an advantage for you guys Friday night.
I think so. We'll treat this one identical to Ouachita because it's almost identical time periods when we do this, when we do that, when we go on, when we come off. I think it's their senior night. We don't have to be off till 6:30 type deal, so that's no big deal for us. And 20-minute half, no big deal. So there's not anything in that reform that makes anything any different. I just say, hey, we've been there, done this. and let's just continue to do what we do and execute and play hard.
Coach, I know you're a little closer to the offensive side of the ball. What does West Monroe have to do well offensively to be successful against a good Neville defense?
I think you got to be one step ahead. Mike and them are going to do a good job defensively with adjustments and things of that nature with what we do. And so you got to stay one step ahead of them in what you're doing, whether that be play action on 1st and 10, things like that. Go for it on 4th down. If you get that opportunity, and just little things, we've got to do that. We've got to possess the football, keep it out of their hands. Quarterback's really good, does a great job. They get it out of his hand really quick. They do a good job of scheming and get it in those quick, fast receivers' hands or to that big H-back and, let those guys roll. So we just got to, control the football and limit their possessions.
Yeah. Coach, it's going to be a great opportunity Friday night, and we'll look forward to catching up with you after the ball game.
All right. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, you bet. Folks, that was head coach Kevin Davis. Pre-game show will be at 6:15. We'll be at Bill Ruppel Stadium on the campus of Neville High School. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock right there at Neville. We'll have it right here on LA 105.3 KLIP Monroe. For Dawson Bose, back at the studio, Tim Gallion here with me. I'm Rick Guillot. Good night, and God bless.